Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing readings. Well, it's... How do I put this? We're going to get a card from the Woodland Wardens Oracle, and then that's going to be whatever the problem, question, or concern is that we're dealing with. That's going to go over here. We're going to do a reading with the Witch's runes on that one, to get some clarity on what that problem is. Then we're going to draw a card from the Everyday Witch Oracle, and that's going to be our solution. And then I'm going to put Witch's runes on that, and we're going to clarify that. So that's what we're doing. So it's, of course, general readings for whenever you find this reading, this video. I've got 4 cards from the Woodland Wardens Oracle deck out. Will you feel into the cards? You can choose one or all of them, or more than one, or less than all. There's card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, and card number 4. I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye! Hello to those of you who chose card number 1. So let's see what the problem, question, or concern is that we are dealing with. We have Raccoon and Sycamore, which is curiosity. So let's get some runes down and we can get some clarity on what this means for you at this time. Now I'm using the Witch's runes. The Witch's runes are not technically runes in the same way that the Elder Futhark, or we're not using reversals, or the Alpha Beta runes, or any of those, because these are not letters. However, they're known as the Witch's runes, so we're going to use them as such. Yeah, I bet we could do these as reversals eventually, but today we're not. So, central issue here. It's not really, it's problem, question, or concern. So it could be a question. It could just not be something that's a problem. It could just be something that is on your mind that you're dealing with. And in this case, I think this is probably what it is, because you're very, very curious about it. So central issue here is the rings, which has to do with the interrelation of things. It's how things are all connected. It's the unbreakable bonds between things. And, this could go all the way to quantum entanglements and such. So just how things are related, how things are interconnected. It's fascinating for you, and this is something that's really been interesting for you lately. You've actually had an enlightenment moment about this, because we have the sun leading up from to this. So there was this moment where suddenly your entire field of vision was filled, and you had this everything was illuminated, and you're like, wow, you know what? Everything is absolutely connected, and this is very, very exciting, and I want to see more of it. It's just absolutely fascinating. So what's going to help you with this? We have the, whether you want to call it yin, whether you want to call it the feminine, the divine feminine rune, it's basically the woman rune. So the Witch's runes are very similar to the Lenormand deck. In fact, there's a lot of overlap. So it's in that I sort of read that rune as to be very receptive. It's all the yin qualities. So what's going to help you with that is just to be very receptive about it, and just allow things, allow the things to come. Because I think this didn't come, you didn't go and get it. I think this came to you. And so now you're just fascinated about the connections and things. And what's going to help you the most is just to be receptive to it as these things come in. What isn't going to help you is we have the birds, or flight, which is about, it's similar to the birds in... Actually, no, the traveler doesn't come into that one. A little bit in the Lenormand. Sorry, I'm speaking of connections. There's a sense of... Okay, I'm going to read this a couple of ways. There's a sense of trying to tell things what they mean that you want to avoid. And also just to try not to take other people's, not gossip, but just sort of the other... Because this is going to be about your journey and about your associations and your meanings that you're having. And if you are, don't create things where they're not. It's but it's easy when you're in that symbolist kind of mode to sort of be drawing connections and conclusions. I think the birds being more about, gossip and that kind of communication, I think you probably want to avoid, letting other people fill in your meanings for things, because this is your journey and your meanings. So I think basically to be receptive to it and to have the connections draw themselves in your own sense of meaning and how it's meaningful for you, rather than, and to let yourself incubate them and let yourself bring forth the meaning as naturally as the whole thing came to you and as naturally as you're receiving them, instead of just like, okay, you're this. And even, and especially with other people telling you, like, that's not going to help you. That's not going to be as nice for you. That's not going to be as neat. What this is all going to lead you to is you're going to find yourself at a crossroads with this, which is, I think, where the problem is, where you're like, okay, what do I do with this? Where am I going with this? You have choices to make as far as what you're getting from this. So that's where we're going to get the solution card from the Everyday Witch Oracle and see, first of all, the kind of flavor of where you're going to go with this, and then with runes we're going to sort of see some clarity on that. So let's get that for you. Imagine and envision. So this is very much all about tapping into your imaginal realm, your access to, you know, the mythic spaces within you. And so sort of let yourself dream on this. And even if you're not somebody who remembers dreams very well, just to sort of let it play itself out for you. You know, everybody has the dream stream. It's constantly going on. You know, when you dream, you're just basically everything, all your busy waking life stuff has just gotten out of the way. And there are things, this is why, you know, the psychedelics, what they do is they just basically turn off the things that inhibit your perception of this constant dream stream, if I remember reading correctly. So it's just like, this is constantly going on and you constantly have access to it. And this is, you know, one of the things that when you do like other non-ordinary reality work, where you are actually tuning into that. And so you can actually tap into that anytime. In fact, it's a good way to, if you can find it and you're having trouble sleeping, if you can find that stream, if you can like just allow yourself to tap into that river, then that's going to carry you into dreams, and then you'll be sleeping. So again, not foolproof and certainly not for everybody, but definitely. So this is basically what's going to help you the most, is as you are making, because you're naturally going to be making these connections. You know, your dreams, looking at your dreams is going to tell you how you feel about everything that you're experiencing. So like if you start a new job and then you have a dream about, you know, starting a new school, and that you feel like you don't know anybody, and you feel like you're not prepared, that tells you how you feel about your new job. So let's get some, but anyway, it's basically, they're going to help you find the meanings. Instead of you telling them what they mean, they're going to be like, here's kind of what it means for you. Yeah, so opening the eye. Yeah, so this is the tricky part, and especially if you let this come in, and that's going to make things, that is a star. Vonnegut fans, settle down. That is a star. No, I thought the same thing because I'm a Vonnegut fan too. But anyway, non-Vonnegut fans are like, what? So anyway, central issue for what to do with this is, central focus on what to do with this is on the Imagine and Envision card, we have the eye. And that's basically to continue, you know, getting this, you know, being receptive to it and really looking at what you are receiving on this. You know, once you start to let yourself dip into the dream stream on this, into the dream river, whatever you want to call it, that subconscious flow, that weather flow of what's telling you how you feel about things and what the meaning of things is for you, just to be very aware of that and keep your eye on it and let that come in, and that's going to be what you're doing. You're looking at this, and what the things mean to you is what's going to start to come through. Now, leading up to this leads from the crossroads thing. You're like, okay, but what do I even do with this, or what do I do about it? I've seen this called trefoil. I've seen this called trillium. I've seen this called romance. But basically, it's sort of the darker side of love and romance kind of thing, where things are just, where there's bickering. And I think I'm not reading this in this case as, you know, humans bickering, unless you are taking people, like you tell somebody something, here's this thing that I made a connection with, and they say, oh, well, that means this. That's going to be at odds with yours. So don't let anybody tell you what your dreams mean. Don't let anybody tell you what, you know, your symbols mean. You got to do this yourself, because otherwise there's going to be arguments, there's going to be bickering, and you're going to question yourself, and that's not good. So look for yourself at your dream river, and see what associations you are getting that are meaningful for you. What is going to help you? Let yourself be guided. We have the star. Yes, Vonnegut fans, I'm sorry. But it means the same sort of thing as it means in tarot and in the Lenormand, which I should be pronouncing correctly now that I know. But basically letting yourself be guided. And you're letting yourself be guided by yourself. You're letting yourself be guided by your own dream or NOR or subconscious river. And that's going to help guide you. And so you're letting yourself be guided, or by whatever, your guides. So whatever your guides are for you, whether this is your higher self, whether this is, guardians, guides, angels and ministers of grace, etc., deities, whatever it is for you, the universe. So let that guide you, because that's going to help lead you to the associations and what they mean for you and how that's going to help you in your life. What isn't going to help is things are going to be murky, especially if there's an emotional component, that was caused by people telling you what to think and feel, and then you're at a crossroads, and then you have this internal bickering happening, and then that can muddy the waters. So this is waves. It's basically how emotions can stir things up, and then you can't see clearly. So let that settle, and the way you're going to let that settle is let yourself be guided, and by whatever is your true star of guidance, and let yourself be guided by that, and you'll be able to see more clearly. And what's interesting about this is that we have here the feminine, the divine feminine, the receiving, and here we have the divine masculine, the more active, the I want to say penetrating. That's kind of, I don't want to be obscene on this channel, but it's like that. It's the whole. It's the yang. So that's what you're going to go from it. So here's where you receive it, and here's where you do something with it. After you've found the meaning and found how it's meaningful for you, then you can actually use it. You can pick up that pen or that paintbrush or whatever you work with, and then work with it, because it's going to be very rich for you. Everything that you connect is going to have a very rich connection for you. So your curiosity turns into something that you're actually able to use in your daily life even. So that's pretty cool. So that is your reading about this. At this point, I don't even have a name for what we're going to be doing with it. It's going to be pick a card, but what are we going to call it? I guess question answer, honestly, like problem solution, because it's not necessarily even problems. Anyway, thank you for letting me brainstorm a little bit with you. And that's your reading card number 1, people. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 2, people. Let's see what your question, problem, or concern is for this. So we have the Heron Oak, new opportunities. So your question, this is the second one in a row that wasn't really a problem. It was, or even a concern. Well, maybe it's a concern, but it's more of a question. So you're looking at new opportunities in your life. And so let's get some runes down. And this is the Witch's runes, which are not actually letters. So I'm not sure if, rune, I guess, is just any mysterious symbol. So they don't have to be letters, but most of the other things that we use as runes are letters. So, like Elder Truth Arc are letters. We're not doing reversals. You could probably read reversals on these, and I'm thinking I might work on that and try to get that. Yeah, so that's what you're hoping for. That's exciting. So this is crooked. Let me fix this. There we go. And this has been dragged off. So, aesthetic moment. Okay. So your question is about new opportunities in your life, which is very exciting. And you definitely want to hop to them as soon as you notice them, which is very exciting. I'm wondering if this is moving down. I'm paranoid since the last time it actually flipped forward. Okay. Central issue is the rune that we call romance or trefoil or trillium. And basically it's, as far as it's sort of the unpleasant side of love and romance, where it's everything bickering, like things that are not agreeing, it's like the painful side of it. So you're sort of in a situation where, whether this is, at first I was thinking new opportunities for work, but this might also be new opportunities for relationships, because right now you might be in a situation where things are not in agreement, things are, incompatible, things are just, at each other. Leading up to this, there is, we have the feminine, the divine feminine of the runes, of the witches' runes, and this is basically like the receptive. So you've just sort of been taking what's come in as far as just like receiving, not resisting, just sort of like taking it in. And that's not really been, if for a while it was good because you're just like, okay, we'll just receive. But this has led to this, which is kind of not very comfortable. We've got the bickering, we've got the arguments, we've got, things that are, the painful side of that, of, trying to find something that you love. And whether this is actually romance, or whether this is like a business thing or a job or something that you're working on where you're looking for new opportunities now, that's why, is because things have become painful where you were just sort of allowing it, and now we need to find something else. So what's going to help you is we have the eye. Give yourself a good overview of things, like let yourself take that step back and see what's out there, but like get your big overview, like see clearly, like try not to be try to see a little bit more clearly and get a bigger overview of what you're seeing, rather than before where you were just sort of receiving what was coming to you. What isn't going to help? We have the scythe. You are worried about putting a quick end to this, and sometimes it's important. Sometimes we have to do it. You're not comfortable where this situation is, whatever this is referring to right now. I mean, this could just be one part of your life at this point. So you are clearly not very comfortable. Things are at odds, and so you're worried about putting an end to things because it's going to be a sudden thing. We've got this. The scythe is like a sudden change, often that requires healing. So, I mean, there may be an interconnectedness thing that you're going to have to heal in yourself when you do sever this tie. So that's obviously worrying, especially if you don't like confrontation, which goodness knows I don't. So, so again, what's going to help you with that is just to get yourself a really good overview, see all the sides of everything, and just like see the big picture on things. And that's going to help you move forward, because what you're going towards and what you are going to come to is a great abundance. We have the harvest rune, which is a time of plenty. You're going to have abundance and nourishment and the good stuff. So you're not far off from it now. Maybe you just have to sever some part of what's going on that's making things difficult, and then that will help, and things will be coming forth and being terrific. But definitely letting yourself be clear-sighted is going to help you the most in this. But I'm not going to. But wait, there's more. I'm not going to leave you there. Let's get a more complete vision of the solution to this with a card from the Everyday Witch Oracle. They are big cards and not as easy to shuffle. No, they're easy, but whatever. Connect with Gaia. Okay, so yeah. A lot of this is going to be about really finding the truth of the situation and getting that overview, and definitely grounding yourself in that. But also, in that the earth energies are very much about, they're very receptive, and they're very, you can put yourself into that love. You can put yourself into that, you can immerse yourself into that, and it will take away the things that are a problem. Not that you shouldn't fix this if there's like bickering and nastiness and toxicity, but this is going to help clear you of that. Like separate from this, like take yourself out of this situation and let yourself be cleared of the toxicity that you've been experiencing. Give it to the Great Mother, as it were, and let that draw the things away that are causing you venom inside you. So let's get some runes down to clarify. Yeah, because you are at a crossroads right now. There is a choice that you have to make. It looks like you've been hearing from a lot of people with a lot of ideas, but you have to make the choice yourself. So see them as counselors. Ooh, now that's a neat opposite right there. That's very cool. Sun and moon. Okay, so what we do about this, first of all, we have choices to make. And I think a lot of this has to do with this. And I think even when you start just severing certain things, you're going to get that abundance coming in, but we want to make things even better because we have a lot of toxicity that's built up over this. And we want to deal with that. So choices to make, definitely connect with earth energies, whatever that is for you, because that's going to help clear and, restore you like with that. Leading up to this, yes, there was definitely a lot of I mean, there's the bickering and toxicity here. This is just basically a lot of talk. This is communication. Maybe there was some travel involved, like maybe you had to move away from this, what was going on here. That's another element for the birds, for the flight, is just to get away from this. But also the communication, so the gossip and things. A lot of these runes are very much like their Lenormand counterparts, so it's very similar read for the birds. But yeah, you're at a situation where you have a choice to make. You're at a crossroads. What is going to help you is we have the moon. So it's not necessarily being as receptive to this, but seeing what reflects back to you the light that you want to see. Now, hopefully this is not happening in a tricky way, but I think part of this is going to be, shine and see what shines back in a way that is resonant and harmonic to you. Also, certainly look to your dreams. If you're someone who remembers your dreams, if not, look at what is being shown to you in your environment that has meaning for you, because that's the same sort of thing. It's all going to be like that. I mean, people think, and it's true, you are psychic. Everybody is, to a certain extent. But people, when they start to record their dreams and they start to take down their dreams, and then they start to experience exactly the same imagery in their waking life, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm psychic. You are. But also, you are going to be shown the messages until you get them. So that's part of it. Anyway, I digress. Definitely look to your dreams. Definitely look to what is reflecting your shine in a good way, like not in a creepy way in terms of like trying to take advantage of you, but definitely look for that. That's going to help you make your decision, because it's going to help you see where you want to be going. What isn't going to help you is there is a sense of overwhelm. There is a sense of like everything is too bright. It's like, how can I choose? Everything seems to be shining in my face. We have the sun. It's the negative aspects of the sun. So it's just like things are just too much heat, too much brightness, too much in your face, bit of an overwhelm. It's like dagas. It's like right in your face. So try not to worry about that. If that starts to be the case, just take a deep breath and shine, and let yourself see where something is resonantly shining back to you. Something is resonantly reflecting the same shine back to you in a way that's compatible with you. And look to your dreams, because that's going to be helping you a lot as well. And again, if you don't remember your dreams, look at what is meaningful around you, giving you messages, because that's going to help too. Ultimately, you are going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to be making some unbreakable bonds. There is going to be a harmonic to where you are going with this, and you're going to feel it. It's going to be, we have the rings, which is the unbreakable bonds, but it's also the connections between things, the resonances, and that's what you're going to be going for, because it started when you shone and you got the reflection back, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go where that resonates the best. And then you're going to find yourself in a situation where things are very nicely resonant. Things are very nicely harmonic for you. There's some good connections going on with that. And you're going to see like the things that are going to be like all these little synchronicities and things that are going to show you that this is the right place for you to be with your new opportunities. So that, card number 2, people, is your reading for these general readings of question and response. So I think that's what I'll go with. And I said in the first one, it's like, I don't even have a name for what this is going to be. It's going to be pick a card, but then after that, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with question and response, because that's pretty much the closest thing. I originally started thinking about, it's like, well, we'll do this with magic. It's like, your magic may vary. However, this is sort of like, here's your situation and here's how your solution is going to be attained. So that is your reading. Card number, it's card number, it's card number 2. We're on card number 2. I'm sorry, I confused myself. Card number 2, people. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 3, people. Welcome, welcome. So let's turn this card and see, did I just spit on this card? Good for me. Let's turn the card and see what your problem, question, or concern is. And we have the Trout and Lily of the Valley. This is the third one that hasn't actually been a problem, but more of a question or perhaps a concern. So the question is about purification. You want to sort of purify your life. Trouts are delicious. If you like fish. That's where I come from. Let's get some runes down on this. We're not going reversals. I think, I said this the past couple of readings, I think I can eventually learn how to do reversals on these, but I haven't practiced with that yet. I think that'd be great. I just generally don't see people using reversals on these runes, but I really think we could do it. I think we could do it. So your central issue here, you're currently at a crossroads. We just had this in the last one as well. A lot of it's because of something that has really opened your eyes. We have the eye rune just before that for leading up to it. So something has really opened your eyes to your situation. You really want to see what you have going on around you and sort of clarify it. You know, I used to, when I was younger and a lot more jerky, I used to you see the things like, oh, simplicity is the best thing in life, and I'd be like, oh, simplicity, duh. In terms of simple, no, please, forgive my 17-year-old self. Anyway, but it's important to simplify in terms of you don't want to overload yourself, you don't want to overclutter your life, and I think that's probably what we're dealing with here. And you want to have something like your life around you that you want to have shaped around you is going to be as pure towards your ideals and towards what brings you joy as you want to get it, which is, I think, what the question is about in terms of you want to basically purify your space, declutter and have things around you that give you joy and have things around you that are in keeping with and resonant with your heart and your beliefs, and not like beliefs in terms of like what isn't, it's like we don't want to go there, but we want to basically have it where your ideals and what's important to you is reflected in your life around you. And if you have a very cluttered life, unless it's cozily cluttered, like 2,000 books that you're enjoying, you basically want to have things might get overwhelming and overpowering as far as you're not having that clarity. Clarity is the word I was looking for. So you want to have a lot more clarity in what's around you in your life. And so you have choices to make at this point. What's going to help you is we have the moon. And this is going to be about, first of all, and the moon was exactly in the same place in the last reading. In fact, both of these were. And I think this is basically, I'm going to read this a couple of ways. First of all, shine and see what resonates that shine back. See what reflects that back to you in the best way, in the purest way, purification. So that's where you're going to find the things that, the whole does it spark joy thing, but also does it resonate with me? Like, does this reflect back to me what I want to be and what I want to have around me? And so that's going to help you. Also look to your dreams. If you don't remember your dreams, just look around you at the messages that are the meaningful things that are coming at you from around you, things that have meaning that you see and you're like, okay, yeah, that's solid for me. That resonates with me. That's harmonic to me. So that's what's going to help you find what you want to surround yourself with and what you want to have in your life. And if you shine at it and it doesn't, or if you shine at it and it sort of reflects back at you wonky, then you're kind of like, okay, I'm not liking what that does for me, and I'm going to sort of start moving that away from my surroundings. What isn't going to help is we have the waves. And it's interesting because this is on a fish, so this is definitely applicable. But excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm okay. The waves have to do with when you have a high emotional connection to something, or if you have emotions that are sort of upheavally and stirred up, then that can muddy the waters. The clarity is not going to be there as much as before. So you might have things that you're trying to do this with that have an emotional connection with you, and it's sort of muddying, things. So that might take away from what you're doing, from the choices you're making to try to make things more clear and more pure around you as far as reflecting you in a better way, in a more clear way. If that starts to be the case, let things settle. And then I just had this image of the moon reflecting on the water. It's like if the water's all stirred up, then the moon is just going to be this blur. But when the water is nice and calm, then you can see the moon. The moon is very clear. So that's sort of what you're going to go for. This will lead you to a point where you can actually do something about it. You can actually do, this is going to help you make the decisions, and then you can actually work with that. We have the masculine. Otherwise, it's in the versions I've read, it's like man. So it's very similar to the Lenormand, where it's like either the masculine, the divine masculine, or a man, or just, that. So all of the qualities for that. So it's like picking up and doing something with it, being very yang about it, and like doing something with the decisions that you've made. So now let's go to the other deck, which is the Everyday Witch Oracle, and see further things that you can do to bring this into being, to enact this purification in your life, decluttering, making things a lot clearer. And let's just draw that rune. I mean, not draw that rune, draw that card. Gratitude and thanks. So that's actually going to be a big part of how you're going to bring this through. Is just the whole being and once you start, and that's a really cool thing about it, once you start taking note of the things that you're grateful for, things just get like, it's just like it clusters together, and you've got like so much of it, and it's like you don't stop. Like, just take 10 minutes and start writing down things that you're grateful for in your life. And you'll find after the 10 minutes, you won't be able to stop. And that's a nice little elegant rhyme in these readings, because that's the divine masculine, that's the divine feminine. Nice. So you're going from like, I'm going to pick up and do something about it, to the point where then you are moving into gratitude and thanks, and you're going to be much more comfortable receiving things. Central thing on this card, though, is the scythe. The scythe is rapid change. Sometimes it's rapid change that requires healing, but it's just like rapid change. So I think this leads from this card, where you were looking at the things in your life and seeing what resonates with you. And once you get a really good idea of your essential bonds and your essential connections, this is the rings. The rings has to do with the unbreakable bonds and the connectivity between things, the way things resonate. And this is the unbreakable sort of the connections that are like you can't have the one without the other, and they all resonate with each other. Once you find this, you will be ready, and more than ready, to sever your connection to the things that don't resonate. And that's going to lead you towards this sense of a greater clarity in your life. And so I don't see the scythe as negative in this particular sense, because this is like, it's like that old joke. It's like, how do you carve a statue of an elephant? A sculpture, statue of an elephant. You get a rock, and then you cut away everything that isn't an elephant. Have I said that wrong? Or it doesn't look like an elephant? No, it isn't an elephant. Anyway. This day and age, and I'm blowing an elephant joke. That's terrible. Anyway, on we go. So yeah, I don't see this as a negative in this particular case. The scythe sometimes is, but I'm really seeing this as, now you're going to make the decisions to just cut out of your life, and it's not going to be as difficult in this stage, because you're going to see what the most comfortable and the most clear and the most resonant and harmonic and pure aspects of your life are, and how they all interrelate, and what you can't sever. Then you know exactly what you can. You're like, okay, you know what? For my health, for my happiness, for my bliss and joy and gratitude, I'm going to cut away these other things. Cut them away with gratitude as well. I mean, it's like, even, to continue with the Sparks Joy thing, she always said, thank the things you're letting go of, because that's important for your mythic self. So what's going to help you? We have the birds, or the flight, which is communication and sometimes travel. I really see this as what's going to help you is to have that, to continue that communication, probably with yourself, but maybe, with others that you trust, keeping in mind that you're making the decisions yourself. But I like the birds with the butterflies behind it. That's all sort of the flight thing. Travel in terms of moving forward, and travel in terms of leaving things behind. That's going to help you. Just like, once you sever the thing, move forward. Once you've cut something out of your life and thanked it, move forward from it. Fly from it, because you're no longer going to be there. You're going to be moving somewhere else. What isn't going to help you? We have the romance rune, or else the trifoil, I think was another word for it, or the trillium. This has to do with, this is like the anti this. This is where things are interrelated, but where there is conflict. Things aren't connecting together in a resonant way. Things are all at odds. Things are like banging heads together and, bickering and being nasty to each other. And you can't really fit those things in a resonant way. So there are things maybe you feel obligated to keep in your life, but they don't resonate with you, and they're not clear, and they're not good for you. They're not healthy for you. They're just nasty, but you may feel obligated to keep them. So you may be worried about cutting them out of your life for whatever reason. This is all the more reason to just do it and move forward. Do it, move forward, cut them out and fly, because that's going to help you the most. Just leave them behind, thank them, and just, do it graciously with gratitude, but just move onward. It's your life. And this will allow you to feel more comfortable. And this is what I was saying at the beginning, to become more receptive. Because once you've cut out the things that were, harshing you, then what is left, you're going to be more comfortable being receptive to. And you know that you have the scythe still. So if you encounter anything else, you can just sort of like, nope, cutting that out, and we can continue to move forward. And then I can be receptive to everything else and be grateful. And the gratitude will bring in the energy and what's all going to give you a good, comfortable and clear and resonant and harmonic life. So that, card number 3, people, is your reading for question and response. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 4, people. So let's start by turning the card over. Sorry, I just had to check a thing. So turning the card over, and we have the Quail and Gooseberry, Anticipation. This is really cool. Like every single one of these cards, like I started with this as like, oh, problem, question, or concern. Every single one of these have been a question, or just sort of either a question or maybe a concern, but not, I haven't seen any problems, which is really nice. So it may be, but we'll go from there. One of the funny, there's nice. That's nice as a bird and a bird. We see a lot of repeats in these because there's only 13 of these runes. So we're doing 10 in each reading. So a lot of these were going to be repeats. What's interesting is that we're getting a lot of them in the same spots. Not this time, which is nice. So the question that you have is about something that you're anticipating. Maybe you're waiting for a message. Maybe you're waiting for travel. Either way, the birds are about communication and travel. They could be about gossip. It's very similar to the Lenormand reading on the birds, or flight. So you're excited to move forward on this, and you're waiting for either communication or travel or both, I think, in this particular case. But either way, it's something you're anticipating very excitedly. Leading up to this, we have the Star. Vonnegut fans, settle down. This is a star. I'm a Vonnegut fan too. Yes, I giggled when I saw this rune. I'm sorry. Non-Vonnegut fans, Breakfast of Champions is going to be what's going to answer your question. Moving swiftly on, the Star. So you are guided to this, and this is one of the reasons you're so excited about this, because you sort of, as Pam says, you followed the cosmic breadcrumbs. You were guided to this. You allowed yourself to be guided. Maybe it wasn't even the cosmic breadcrumbs. Maybe this is something that you sort of found your way to, or it was just some whatever guidance you followed to get to this point. You are now in a situation where you're waiting for it, and it's very exciting. You're looking forward to it very much, and you're excited, but it's like, that's where the situation you're in. It's that moment of anticipation. What is going to help you is just to be receptive, because it's not just going to be about when the thing finally happens or when the thing finally arrives, but also what the experience is between now and then, because it's all going to be part of it. It's like when you go on a trip. You're excited about the trip and you're excited about being where you're going, but part of that is the excitement of packing, and the excitement of planning, and the excitement of going to the airport, and that whole experience, and then the flight, and then when you get there, and then seeing things. It's not just getting there. It's not just being there. It's getting there. So as you're waiting in anticipation, allow yourself to experience that as a part of the receiving of the thing that's coming, because it is. So it's very exciting. What isn't going to help you is You do feel at a bit of a crossroads. I'm not sure why. Can I afford 2 more runes? Yes, because I'm laying down 10 and there are 13. So I want to clarify this crossroads. Yeah, so that's the worry. That's the worry. Yeah, so what helps is receiving all that there is that is happening while you're waiting, and trusting that it's all connected to the whole. What isn't going to help you is, because you still have a lot of choice in this moment, there's this worry that comes up. You're worried about what if things go wrong, what if this, what if that. So you get this like bickering starting up in your head of like, maybe I should, push, maybe I should do these other things, maybe I should, like, things that might mess up what you're doing, but also things that might just make you not comfortable or happy while you're waiting. The best thing is just like to continue to accept the things that are coming in. So it's just very exciting that way. But if you feel like you don't have anything to do and you're waiting, you might look for things, your mind might look for things to do while it's waiting, and what your mind might do is bring in a lot of unnecessary drama that is not going to help your experience. So if you start to do that, just bring yourself up to, it's like, no, you know what? I know this is coming. It's guaranteed to be coming. Like, it's definitely, you're anticipating, you're looking forward to a communication or a message or travel. You know this is coming. It's going to happen. So see all of this leading up until this as, receiving that and as part of the whole of the experience. And what this is going to lead you to is you're going to be very, I'm seeing like active watching, active waiting, and just like to open your eyes and just take in everything, because it's all going to be part of it, and it's very exciting. So let's get the response. Let's get the solution and what we can do to that. I don't know how this is going to fall out, but this is exciting. And this is in the Everyday Witch Oracle. So let's get a card for that. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. So yes, it all becomes part of that. It all becomes part of this. And as you allow yourself to be carried forward on the on your path towards this that you're expecting, allow yourself to be carried forward in that. And even once it starts as well, because your eyes are open and you're just extraordinary. Okay, her eyes are closed, but she's still experiencing it. The cat's eyes are open. Just letting yourself, and I like that this is the stars as well, and the stars that guided you there, and they are still guiding you forward. So just let yourself experience this. Let yourself, once the experience arrives, let it take you and let it carry you forward, trusting that the stars are still guiding you. They got you there. So let's get some runes down. Yeah, there's your harvest. There's your abundance. There's your fruits of your labors. That's what you were waiting for. It was almost overwhelming when it started. I don't want to cover her pretty face. Put it above her. Yeah. And I'll put the moon slightly to the side so you can see the kitty cat. So at this point, let's say this has arrived, and this is what you were waiting for, and it's wonderful, and it's abundant, and it's plenty, and it's everything that you hoped for and more, and it's the fruits of your labors. So at this point, just let yourself be carried by it, because it's wonderful and the stars are still guiding you. Leading up to that, you've been keeping your eyes open, and then just like everything filled your field of vision. It has arrived. It's really good. So here's the sun filling your field of vision, and it's just everything. It's everything. And so now it's all a part of it. You let it carry you forward. You're going with the flow of it, and it's all the abundance. What is going to help you with that is just experience it. Like, go there, do that. Have it be your adventure and your quest. Press on, move forward. We have the masculine, which is the moving forward, the driving forward, but also like this, yes, moving forward. Go penetrate. I'm sorry, that's a bit obscene, but I don't mean it to be. It's the divine feminine. I mean the divine masculine. Move forward, penetrate through it, experience it, be in it. This is your adventure. So be yang through it and enjoy it. Which is almost the opposite of what the card is saying. Is like go with the flow, where you're just like receiving, but at the same time you are plowing through the water, so you are moving forward through the time of it, and that works for that as well. What isn't going to help, and interestingly, because it actually landed in the water, is the waves, and the waves have to do with an emotional element that muddies the waters. So I mean, I guess that can happen with like really, if you're like super, 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 super excited and then you're not seeing clearly, or, you know, that kind of thing. But try not to let, if emotions like surge up, then the waters can become not clear, and you definitely want to see this clearly, like the eye is waiting. So if anything is not going to help with this, which seems very joyful anyway, it's just like try to keep as clear as possible, like try to keep emotions friendly. And I think this is, in that it's in the lower spot, I'm going to see this more as negative emotions. Like you might start worrying about things. You know, if you're going with the flow and you're used to like making things happen, which the yang would indicate, and that actually is the solution as well. If you start to feel like, you know, you feel a little bit uncomfortable with letting things be carrying you forward, that's when you're actually going to pick up and say, okay, well, I do have an oar, so I can direct us a little bit, but mostly it's just sort of to be a part of that, to be a part of moving forward through the flow actively, rather than just sitting back and worrying. Look and see and take things in, because you are getting the fruits of your labors right now once it gets to this point, and it's very, very exciting. What this is all going to lead you to is, this is something that's going to really become a part of your mythic realms, really going to become a part of your NOR, your dream realms, something that's going to become a part of your mythology, your life's path, but the meaning of it, like the meanings of it. So this is going to be something that is going to nourish you deeply, not only for outer memories and outer experiences, but something that's going to go deep within your mythic layers. And this is going to, like, it's going to come to you in dreams. It's going to appear to you in dreams. The symbolism of it and the images of it are going to become critical elements of your dream world and your creative world and all of that. And you will find something that resonates with you really well. Like the moon always reflects back, so it's something that whenever you look to it will reflect your shine. So there you go. So that's card number 4, people. That's your reading for question and response. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.